The Fujita-Pearson scale is a scale for rating the intensity of what? Tornadoes. The Fujita-Pearson scale, commonly known as the F scale, was developed to classify the intensity of tornadoes based on the damage they cause. It ranges from F0, light damage, to F5, incredible damage, although it has largely been replaced by the enhanced Fujita scale, EF scale, in many regions. The Shining Path is another name for the Communist Party of which South American country? Peru. The Shining Path, Sendero Luminoso, was a Maoist guerrilla organization in Peru, active from the late 1970s through the early 1990s. It was responsible for widespread violence and human rights abuses during its armed struggle against the Peruvian government. A spleenwort is what type of plant? Fern. Spleenworts belong to the genus Asplenium *, which comprises a large group of ferns. These plants are typically characterized by their distinctive sorry, spore-producing structures, and often grow on rocks or trees in moist, shaded environments. Which Paris airport opened in March 1974? Charles de Gaulle Airport. Charles de Gaulle Airport, CDG, also known as Roissy Airport, is the largest international airport in France and the second busiest in Europe. Located northeast of Paris, it serves as a major hub for air travel, connecting numerous destinations worldwide. What is the 23rd letter of the Greek alphabet? Psi. Psi is the 23rd letter of the Greek alphabet. It is used in various scientific fields, including mathematics, physics, and psychology, to represent different concepts such as wave functions or statistical values. The Mangla Dam is in which Asian country? Pakistan. The Mangla Dam is one of the largest earth-filled dams in the world, located on the Jhelum River in the Mirpur district of Azad Kashmir, Pakistan. It serves vital purposes including irrigation, flood control, and hydroelectric power generation, playing a crucial role in the region's water and energy security. In Greek mythology, what is the name of the son of Daedalus, for whom Daedalus made wings from feathers and wax so he could escape Crete, but the wax melted when he flew too near to the sun, and he fell into the sea and drowned? Icarus. Icarus is a prominent figure in Greek mythology, known for his tragic flight. His story serves as a cautionary tale about hubris and the dangers of exceeding one's limits, a theme frequently explored in literature and art. What does the Latin phrase, videre est credere, translate to in English? Seeing is believing. Videre est credere is a well-known Latin proverb emphasizing the importance of direct observation for conviction. This phrase highlights the human tendency to trust visual evidence over hearsay and is often used to express skepticism. In poetry, an alexandrine is a line of verse comprising how many syllables? 12. An alexandrine is a specific type of metrical line in poetry, consisting of 12 syllables. It is particularly characteristic of French classical poetry and is also found in English verse, notably in the final line of a Spenserian stanza. A group of which birds is known as a muster or a phalanx? Storks. Collective nouns for animals are a common area of general knowledge, often tested in competitive exams. A muster, or phalanx, specifically refers to a group of storks, highlighting their distinctive behavior and formation. The United Nations was created in which US city? San Francisco. The United Nations Charter was signed in San Francisco on June 26, 1945, by 50 countries. This historic event officially established the international organization dedicated to maintaining global peace and security, fostering friendly relations among nations, and promoting social progress. Enophobia is the hatred or extreme dislike of which drink? Wine. Enophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an irrational and intense fear or aversion to wine. Like other phobias, it is an anxiety disorder that can significantly impact an individual's social life and well-being. Vientiane is the capital of which Southeast Asian country? Laos. Vientiane is the capital and largest city of Laos, a landlocked country in Southeast Asia. Situated on the Mekong River, it serves as the nation's political, economic, and cultural hub. Luna is the Roman goddess of which celestial body? The moon. In Roman mythology, Luna is the divine personification of the moon. She is often depicted riding a chariot across the sky, and her Greek equivalent is Selene. The 6 masts of Isambard Kingdom Brunel's steamship the Great Eastern were said to be named after what? Days of the week. Isambard Kingdom Brunel's SS Great Eastern, launched in 1858, was an engineering marvel and the largest ship of its time. Its 6 masts were reputedly named after the days of the week, a unique detail for such a groundbreaking vessel. Polydactyly in humans is the condition of having more than the normal number of what? Fingers and/or toes. Polydactyly is a congenital anomaly where a person is born with more than 5 digits on a hand or foot. This genetic condition can manifest as a small bump or a fully developed extra digit. Lake Torrens is in which country? Australia. Lake Torrens is a large, ephemeral salt lake located in South Australia. It is the second largest lake in Australia when full, although it typically remains dry for extended periods. Sir Robert Peel was British Prime Minister for the first time during the reign of which monarch? King William IV. Sir Robert Peel served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom twice, first from 1834 to 1835 under King William IV. He is known for founding the modern police force and was instrumental in repealing the Corn Laws. Which city's airport is the largest in Latin America? Mexico City. Mexico City International Airport, officially known as Benito Juárez International Airport, is a major international airport serving Mexico City. It consistently ranks among the busiest airports in Latin America by passenger traffic and cargo movement. Who became British Prime Minister in October 1809? Spencer Perceval. Spencer Perceval served as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from 1809 to 1812. He is notable as the only British Prime Minister to have been assassinated, an event that occurred in the House of Commons lobby. Lutrophobia is the fear of which animal? Otter. Lutrophobia is an uncommon specific phobia characterized by an irrational and intense fear of otters. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder often named using classical Greek or Latin roots related to the object of fear. Who wrote the novel, The Hound of the Baskervilles? Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle is renowned for creating the iconic detective Sherlock Holmes. The Hound of the Baskervilles, published in 1902, is one of his most famous Sherlock Holmes novels, known for its atmospheric setting and suspenseful plot. In January 1990, who became the first modern head of government to give birth whilst in office? Benazir Bhutto. Benazir Bhutto, the former Prime Minister of Pakistan, achieved a significant milestone in modern political history by becoming the first head of government to give birth while serving in office. This event highlighted her resilience and dedication, setting a precedent for women in leadership roles globally. Which is the 4th planet from the Sun? Mars. Mars is the 4th planet from the Sun and is often referred to as the red planet, due to its iron oxide-rich surface. It is a terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere and has been a focal point for space exploration due to its potential for past or present life. A sikar is what type of animal? Deer. A sikar is a type of deer native to East Asia, though it has been introduced to various parts of the world. Known for its distinct white spots, especially visible in summer, the sikar deer is a medium-sized ungulate, commonly found in forests and grasslands. What is the name of the body of water that separates the Isle of Wight and mainland England? The Solent. The Solent is a strait located in southern England, separating the Isle of Wight from the mainland. It is a major shipping lane, a popular recreational area, and home to important wildlife habitats, playing a crucial role in the region's geography and ecology. RMS Titanic called at which Irish port on her way to America in 1912? Queenstown, now COBH. The RMS Titanic made its last port of call at Queenstown, now Cobb, in Ireland on April 11, 1912, before continuing its ill-fated maiden voyage across the Atlantic. This stop was primarily for embarking additional passengers and mail. Psittacosis is a contagious disease that affects which type of birds? Parrots. Psittacosis, also known as parrot fever or ornithosis, is a zoonotic infectious disease caused by the bacterium *Chlamydophila psittaci. While it primarily affects parrots and other birds, it can be transmitted to humans, causing respiratory illness. The Chollywood process is used in the making of which foodstuff? Bread. The Chollywood bread process, CBP, is a commercial method of bread making developed in the UK in 1961. It significantly reduces fermentation time and allows for the use of lower protein wheat, leading to faster production and increased shelf life for bread products. Fotheringhay Castle is in which English county? Northamptonshire. Fotheringhay Castle, located in Northamptonshire, England, holds significant historical importance. It is notable as the birthplace of King Richard III in 1452 and famously as the site where Mary, Queen of Scots, was imprisoned and executed in 1587. During which month of the year is Oak Apple Day, Royal Oak Day, celebrated? May. Oak Apple Day, also known as Royal Oak Day, commemorates the restoration of the English monarchy in 1660 and King Charles II's escape from parliamentary forces in 1651 by hiding in an oak tree. It is traditionally celebrated on May 29. What was the name of the ship that housed pirate radio station Radio Caroline, which sank in March 1980? MV Mi Amigo. MV Mi Amigo was the vessel used by Radio Caroline, a prominent pirate radio station that broadcasted from international waters to the UK. The ship ran aground and sank in March 1980, marking a significant event in the history of offshore broadcasting. Which famous concert venue is located at 881 7th Avenue, New York? Carnegie Hall. Carnegie Hall is one of the world's most prestigious concert venues, renowned for its excellent acoustics and historic significance. Located in New York City, it has hosted numerous legendary musicians and performers since its opening in 1891. In February 2007, which Welsh town was twinned with Timbuktu in Africa? Hay-on-Wye. Hay-on-Wye, a Welsh town famous for its bookshops and literary festivals, was twinned with Timbuktu in Mali, Africa, in 2007. This twinning initiative aimed to foster cultural and educational exchanges between the two distinct historical and cultural centers. What is the term for a painting which consists of 4 or more leaves or panels, usually joined by hinges, and often used as an altarpiece? Poloptic. A poloptic is a type of painting or relief carving composed of 4 or more panels, often hinged together, which can be folded or displayed as a single unit. These multi-panel artworks were particularly popular in the Middle Ages and Renaissance, frequently serving as altarpieces in churches. Smriti is a religious text containing traditional teaching in which religion? Hinduism. Smriti refers to a body of Hindu religious texts that are remembered and transmitted by human authors, distinguishing them from Shruti, revealed texts like the Vedas. These texts, including the Puranas, epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Dharma Shastras, contain traditional teachings, laws, and narratives central to Hinduism. Who became British Prime Minister in July 1902? Arthur James Balfour. Arthur James Balfour became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in July 1902, succeeding his uncle, Robert Gascoigne Cecil, Lord Salisbury. His premiership saw significant legislation, including the Education Act of 1902 and the establishment of the Committee of Imperial Defence. During which month of the year is India Independence Day celebrated? August. India celebrates its Independence Day on August 15 each year, commemorating its freedom from British rule in 1947. This day is a national holiday, marked by flag-hoisting ceremonies, parades, and cultural events across the country. Hippoglossus. Hippoglossus is the Latin name for which flatfish? Halibut. Hippoglossus. Hippoglossus is the scientific, binomial name for the Atlantic halibut, a large species of flatfish found in the North Atlantic Ocean. Scientific nomenclature uses Latin or Latinized names to provide a unique and universally recognized name for each species. The county of Pembrokeshire is located in which constituent country of the United Kingdom? Wales. Pembrokeshire is a county located in the southwest of Wales, known for its stunning coastline, national park, and historical sites. Wales is one of the 4 constituent countries that form the United Kingdom, alongside England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. Which English monarch founded Eton College? King Henry VI. Eton College, one of the world's most famous public schools, was founded in 1440 by King Henry VI. Established as the King's College of Our Lady of Eton beside Windsor, it was intended to provide free education to 70 poor scholars who would then proceed to King's College, Cambridge. Which artist co-wrote and appeared in the 1929 Luis Buñuel film, Un Chien Andalou? Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali, a prominent surrealist artist, co-wrote and appeared in the groundbreaking 1929 surrealist short film, Un Chien Andalou, with director Luis Buñuel. This avant-garde film is a seminal work in the history of cinema, characterized by its dreamlike imagery and challenging narrative structure, making it a significant piece in the art and culture domain. What was the name of the hurricane that battered New York in October 2012? Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy, also known as Superstorm Sandy, was a devastating hurricane that affected the Caribbean, Mid-Atlantic, and northeastern United States in October 2012. It caused widespread damage, particularly in New York and New Jersey, leading to significant economic losses and power outages. Which British monarch was known as Bertie to his family? King Edward VII. King Edward VII, who reigned from 1901 to 1910, was affectionately known as Bertie by his family. He was the eldest son of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert and succeeded his mother upon her death, ushering in the Edwardian era. Which planet in our solar system has approximately 244 Earth days to 1 year? Venus. Venus has a sidereal rotation period of approximately 243 Earth days, making its day longer than its orbital period, which is about 225 Earth days. This slow, retrograde rotation is a unique characteristic among the planets in our solar system. Incirlik Air Base is located in which country? Turkey. Incirlik Air Base is a significant military facility located near Adana, Turkey. It is operated jointly by the Turkish Air Force and the United States Air Force, serving as a crucial strategic hub for NATO operations in the region. Rhode Island Red is a breed of which bird? Chicken. The Rhode Island Red is a widely recognized American breed of domestic chicken, valued for its dual-purpose capabilities. It is known for both its prolific egg-laying and its quality meat production, making it a popular choice in poultry farming. What is the national flower of Scotland? Thistle. The thistle has been the national emblem of Scotland for centuries, symbolizing resilience and defiance. Legend suggests that a sleeping party of Scottish warriors was saved from a Norse invasion when an enemy soldier stepped on a thistle and cried out, alerting the Scots. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva was re-elected president of which South American country in 2006? Brazil. Luis Inácio Lula da Silva, commonly known as Lula, was re-elected president of Brazil in 2006, serving a second term until 2010. He is a prominent figure in Brazilian politics, noted for his social programs aimed at poverty reduction and later returned to the presidency in 2023. English artist Damien Hirst was born in which city? Bristol. Damien Hirst is a leading figure of the Young British Artists, YBA's, movement, known for his controversial and thought-provoking works. He was born in Bristol, England, in 1965, and rose to prominence in the 1990s. The Qumran Scrolls are better known by what name? Dead Sea Scrolls. The Qumran Scrolls are more famously known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, a collection of ancient Jewish religious manuscripts discovered in the Qumran caves near the Dead Sea. These texts provide invaluable insights into Jewish society and beliefs during the Second Temple period. Myoglobin is the primary oxygen-carrying pigment of which type of body tissue in humans? Muscle tissue. Myoglobin is an iron and oxygen-binding protein found in the muscle tissue of vertebrates. Its primary function is to store oxygen, providing a ready supply for muscles during periods of intense activity or low oxygen availability. In the standard game of chess, which color is always the first to move? White, light. In the standard game of chess, the player controlling the white pieces always makes the first move. This rule ensures fairness and has been a fundamental aspect of chess for centuries, establishing the opening sequence of play. A colubrid is what type of creature? Snake. Colubrids constitute the largest family of snakes, encompassing over 2/3 of all known snake species. They are a diverse group found worldwide, characterized by their non-venomous nature, though some have mild venom, and lack of large fangs. The House of Grimaldi has ruled which European principality since 1927? Monaco. The House of Grimaldi is the ruling princely house of Monaco, a small sovereign city-state on the French Riviera. They have ruled Monaco for over 700 years, with their current reign as reigning princes continuous since 1927, solidifying their historical control over the principality. What is the official language of the Netherlands? Dutch. Dutch is a West Germanic language spoken by approximately 28 million people as a first or second language. It is the official language of the Netherlands, Belgium, Flanders, and Suriname, and also holds official status in the Caribbean islands of Aruba, Curaçao, and Sint Maarten. Ailurophobia is the irrational fear of which animals? Cats. Ailurophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an irrational and intense fear of cats. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder, and they are distinct from normal fear in their intensity and the distress they cause, often leading to avoidance behaviors. In September 1850, what was the 31st American state to join the Union? California. California was admitted to the Union as the 31st state on September 9, 1850, as part of the Compromise of 1850. Its admission was a significant event in American history, influenced by the Mexican-American War and the California Gold Rush, which led to a rapid increase in population and economic activity. The Codex Leicester, or Codex Hammer, is a collection of mostly scientific writings by which scientist, inventor? Leonardo da Vinci. The Codex Leicester is a collection of scientific writings by Leonardo da Vinci, dating from 1506 to 1510. It contains observations and theories on various topics including astronomy, hydrodynamics, rocks, and fossils. It is renowned as one of Leonardo's most famous notebooks, purchased by Bill Gates in 1994. The Sangkamphayang hot springs are in which Asian country? Thailand. The Sangkamphayang hot springs are a popular natural attraction located in Chiang Mai province, Thailand. These geothermal springs are known for their high sulfur content and therapeutic properties, attracting both tourists and locals for relaxation and health benefits. Greenland is an autonomous country within the kingdom of which other country? Denmark. Greenland is the world's largest island and an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Its self-governance allows it significant control over domestic affairs, while Denmark retains control over foreign policy, defense, and monetary policy. This political arrangement highlights modern forms of colonial legacy and sovereignty. How many feet are in a UK mile? 5,280. A UK mile, also known as an international mile or statute mile, is defined as exactly 5,280 feet, or 1,760 yards. This unit of length has historical roots and is still commonly used for measuring distances in the United States and the United Kingdom, alongside the metric system. The islands of Oahu, Molokai, and Lanai are part of which U.S. state? Hawaii. Oahu, Molokai, and Lanai are major islands among the 8 main islands of the Hawaiian archipelago. Hawaii is the 50th and most recent state to have joined the United States, known for its unique volcanic geology, diverse ecosystems, and rich Polynesian culture. Developed by IBM, Deep Blue was a computer that played what? Chess. Deep Blue was a chess-playing computer developed by IBM, which achieved widespread recognition in 1997 by defeating then world chess champion Garry Kasparov. This event marked a significant milestone in the history of artificial intelligence and machine learning. A group of which animals is known as a cackle? Hyenas. The collective noun for a group of hyenas is a cackle, which fittingly describes their distinctive vocalizations, ranging from whoops to giggles. This term is an example of the unique collective nouns used to describe various animal groups. A flower moon is the traditional name for the first full moon of which month of the year? May. The flower moon is the traditional name for the full moon occurring in May, so named by Native American tribes to signify the time when flowers are in full bloom across the region. This nomenclature reflects a historical connection between natural phenomena and seasonal cycles. What is the official fruit of New York, USA? Apple. The apple is the official state fruit of New York, a designation that acknowledges the state's significant role in apple cultivation and its historical agricultural heritage. New York is one of the leading apple-producing states in the United States. Annapolis is the capital of which U.S. state? Maryland. Annapolis is the capital city of the U.S. state of Maryland, situated on the Chesapeake Bay. It is notable for being home to the United States Naval Academy and for its well-preserved 18th-century architecture, reflecting its rich colonial history. Tacky's War, or Tacky's Rebellion, was a 1760 uprising of black African slaves in which British colony? Jamaica. Tacky's Rebellion was a major slave uprising that occurred in the British colony of Jamaica in 1760. It was one of the most significant revolts in the Caribbean during the 18th century, profoundly influencing the institution of slavery. Ophidian relates to which creature? Snake. The term, Ophidian, refers to or is characteristic of snakes. In zoology, it is often used to describe the suborder Serpentis, which encompasses all species of snakes. Fiorello LaGuardia was mayor of which city from 1934 to 1945? New York. Fiorello LaGuardia served as the mayor of New York City from 1934 to 1945. He was a prominent figure during the Great Depression and World War II, known for his progressive policies and efforts to reform city government. Who was the vice president of former US President Bill Clinton? Al Gore. Al Gore served as the 45th Vice President of the United States under President Bill Clinton from 1993 to 2001. He is also a well-known environmental advocate and was the Democratic presidential nominee in the 2000 election. How many legs do arachnids typically possess? 8. Arachnids are a class of arthropods that includes spiders, scorpions, ticks, and mites. A defining characteristic of arachnids is their 8 legs, distinguishing them from insects which typically have 6 legs. On which body of water is the English resort of Bournemouth located? English Channel. Bournemouth is a large coastal town in the ceremonial county of Dorset, England. It is situated on the south coast of England, directly bordering the English Channel, a significant arm of the Atlantic Ocean that separates southern England from northern France. Which mountain is famously referred to as the White Spider? Eiger, North Face. The Eiger is a 3,967-meter mountain of the Bernese Alps in Switzerland. Its north face, a formidable challenge for mountaineers, gained the nickname, the White Spider, due to the distinctive spider web pattern formed by its ice and rock gullies leading to the summit. Identify the 4-footed herbivorous dinosaur characterized by a small head and a distinctive double row of large bony plates along its back. Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus is a genus of herbivorous, 4-footed dinosaurs known for the distinctive large, kite-shaped plates along its back and tail spikes. These plates likely served for defense or thermoregulation. Stegosaurus lived during the late Jurassic period, approximately 155 to 150 million years ago. In which month is the Notting Hill Carnival held in London? August. The Notting Hill Carnival, held annually in August in London, is one of the world's largest street festivals. It celebrates Caribbean culture and is known for its vibrant parades, music, and food. Who composed the Brandenburg Concertos? Johann Sebastian Bach. The Brandenburg Concertos are a collection of 6 instrumental works by Johann Sebastian Bach, dedicated to Christian Ludwig, Margrave of Brandenburg-Schwedt, in 1721. They are considered among the best orchestral compositions of the Baroque era, showcasing Bach's mastery of counterpoint and diverse instrumentation. What name did Franklin D. Roosevelt originally give to the U.S. President's summer retreat, Camp David, in 1942? Camp Shangri-La. Camp David, the country retreat for the President of the United States, was originally named Shangri-La by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1942, after the fictional Himalayan paradise. President Dwight D. Eisenhower later renamed it Camp David in 1953, in honor of his grandson, David Eisenhower. What type of creature is a florican? Bird. Floricans are a genus of large, terrestrial birds belonging to the bustard family, Otidae, native to the Indian subcontinent. They are notable for their elaborate courtship displays and are critically endangered, facing significant threats from habitat loss and hunting. The abbreviation, ad lib, stands for which Latin phrase? Ad libitum. Ad libitum is a Latin phrase meaning, at one's pleasure, or, as much as one desires. In various contexts, it refers to performing or speaking spontaneously without prior preparation, such as in music improvisation or extemporaneous speaking. Stonewall, a census-designated place, CDP, is located in which U.S. state? Texas. Stonewall is a small community and census-designated place in Gillespie County, Texas. It is notable as the birthplace and burial place of Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th President of the United States. What is a female guinea pig called? Sow. A female guinea pig is known as a sow, while a male is called a boar, and a baby is a pup. This terminology is common for certain animal species, similar to pigs, and is a basic zoological fact. Related to religion, staurophobia is the fear or hatred of what? Cross, crucifix. Staurophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an irrational and intense fear or hatred of crosses or crucifixes. Phobias are anxiety disorders defined by a persistent and excessive fear of an object or situation, often having a significant impact on an individual's life. Ladies in White is an opposition movement, consisting of wives and female relatives of jailed dissidents, in which country? Cuba. Ladies in White, Damas de Blanco, is an opposition movement in Cuba, founded in 2003, comprising wives and female relatives of jailed dissidents. They protest peacefully, demanding the release of political prisoners and respect for human rights, often dressed in white and attending Catholic Mass. Sligo, Galway and Limerick are all cities in which European country? Ireland. Sligo, Galway, and Limerick are prominent cities located in the Republic of Ireland, a country in Western Europe. These cities are known for their distinct geographical locations, cultural heritage, and economic significance within the country. Robinson Crusoe Island lies off the coast of which South American country? Chile. Robinson Crusoe Island, formerly known as Masa Tierra, is an island located off the coast of Chile in South America, part of the Juan Fernandez archipelago. Its name was changed in 1966 to honor the fictional character Robinson Crusoe, whose story was inspired by the real-life castaway Alexander Selkirk, marooned there. Who authored the 1902 play, The Admirable Crichton? J. M. Barrie. J. M. Barrie, a renowned Scottish novelist and playwright, is best known as the creator of Peter Pan. The Admirable Crichton is a satirical play exploring class distinctions and social hierarchy, a prominent theme in early 20th century British literature. Inkberry, Carolina, and Hawaiian are all varieties of which garden plant? Holly. Holly, Ilex species, is a genus of trees and shrubs, many of which are evergreen and known for their distinctive red berries. Varieties like Inkberry, Ilex glabra, Carolina, Ilex ambigua, and Hawaiian holly, Ilex anomala, highlight the plant's diversity and regional adaptations in botany. Suint is a natural grease formed from the dried perspiration on the coat of which animal? Sheep. Suint is a natural secretion found on the wool of sheep, consisting of dried perspiration mixed with wool wax, lanolin. It contains potassium salts of fatty acids, which can be extracted and used in various industrial applications, including soap making and as a fertilizer. Who wrote the 19th century novel, Little Women? Louisa May Alcott. Little Women is a classic novel written by American author Louisa May Alcott, first published in 1868. It chronicles the lives of the four March sisters and explores themes of domesticity, independence, and personal growth in post-Civil War America, making it a significant work in American literature. Which planet has the biggest moon in our solar system? Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system and hosts Ganymede, its largest moon, which is also the largest moon in the entire solar system. Ganymede is even larger than the planet Mercury and is the only moon known to have its own magnetic field, making it a significant object of study in astronomy. Equus quagga is the scientific name for which animal? Zebra. Equus quagga is the scientific name for the plains zebra, the most common and geographically widespread species of zebra. This binomial nomenclature, established by Carl Linnaeus, is part of the hierarchical classification system used to categorize and identify species based on their evolutionary relationships. U.S. jazz musician Thelonious Monk played which instrument? Piano. Thelonious Monk was a renowned American jazz pianist and composer, recognized for his unique improvisational style and contributions to the bebop movement. His compositions and playing style were distinct for their dissonances, angular melodies, and percussive attack, making him one of the most important figures in jazz history. The tragus is found in which part of the human body? Ear. The tragus is a small, pointed cartilaginous protrusion from the anterior part of the external ear, situated in front of the ear canal. It plays a role in hearing by partially covering the ear canal opening. To which political party did US President Bill Clinton belong? Democratic Party. Bill Clinton, the 42nd President of the United States, served from 1993 to 2001 and was a prominent member of the Democratic Party. His presidency is noted for economic prosperity and signing the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA. In which year was same-sex marriages legalized in New York City? 2011. Same-sex marriages were legalized in New York State on June 24, 2011, making it one of the largest states at the time to permit such unions. This legislative change was a significant step in the broader movement for LGBTQ+ rights in the United States. Who authored the 1881 novel, The Prince and the Pauper? Mark Twain. Mark Twain, whose real name was Samuel Clemens, published The Prince and the Pauper in 1881. This historical novel, set in 16th century England, explores themes of social injustice and identity through the story of two boys who trade places. Chinstrap, macaroni, Humboldt, and Gentoo are all species of which creature? Penguin. These names refer to distinct species of penguins, a group of aquatic, flightless birds found almost exclusively in the southern hemisphere. Each species has unique characteristics and habitats, ranging from the Antarctic to temperate regions. Which amendment to the United States Constitution outlawed slavery? 13th. The 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution, ratified on December 6, 1865, abolished slavery and involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for a crime. This landmark amendment was crucial in ending a centuries-old institution and granting freedom to millions of enslaved people in the aftermath of the American Civil War. To which English monarch are gingerbread men first attributed, as they were allegedly served to foreign dignitaries during her reign? Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I is often credited with the popularization of gingerbread men. She reportedly had gingerbread figures made in the likeness of visiting dignitaries, serving them during royal occasions. While gingerbread itself has older origins, her reign helped solidify its place in English culinary and festive traditions. What is the only city in the English county of Somerset? Wells. Wells holds the distinction of being England's smallest city, designated by its cathedral status rather than its population size. Located in the county of Somerset, it is known for its magnificent Wells Cathedral and the historic Bishop's Palace, attracting numerous visitors annually. Aston, Digbeth, and Ladywood are all areas within which major British city? Birmingham. Aston, Digbeth, and Ladywood are prominent districts located within the city of Birmingham, England. Birmingham is one of the largest and most populous cities in the UK, renowned for its industrial heritage, diverse culture, and significant economic contribution to the West Midlands region. In broadcasting and music, what does AMP stand for? Amplifier. An amplifier is an electronic device that increases the power of a signal, crucial in broadcasting, audio systems, and various electronic circuits to make signals strong enough for transmission or playback. How many inches are there in a UK mile? 63,360. A UK mile, also known as an international mile, is defined as 5,280 feet. Since there are 12 inches in a foot, 1 mile is equivalent to 5,280 feet * 12 inches, foot equals 63,360 inches, a standard unit in the imperial system. Who was elected President of France in June 1969? Georges Pompidou. Georges Pompidou served as President of France from 1969 until his death in 1974. He succeeded Charles de Gaulle and continued many of de Gaulle's policies, focusing on industrial and economic modernization. Gennaio is the Italian word for which month of the year? January. Gennaio is the Italian name for the first month of the year, January. This name, like its English counterpart, derives from Janus, the Roman god of beginnings and transitions. The lyrics for Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the choral, were adapted from which poem by Friedrich Schiller? Ode to Joy. Ludwig van Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, completed in 1824, famously incorporates a choral finale with text adapted from Friedrich Schiller's poem, and Die Freude, Ode to Joy. This work is a monumental composition, celebrating human brotherhood and joy, and is recognized globally for its cultural and historical significance. In Christianity, by what other name is Holy Wednesday known? Spy Wednesday. Holy Wednesday, part of Holy Week in Christianity, commemorates the day Judas Iscariot conspired with the Sanhedrin to betray Jesus. It is also known as Spy Wednesday due to Judas's secretive act of spying on Jesus before handing him over. During which century did the Battle of Agincourt take place? 15th century. The Battle of Agincourt was a major English victory against a numerically superior French army in 1415, during the 100 Years' War. This decisive battle, fought on St. Crispin's Day, significantly impacted the course of the conflict. Which make and model car was U.S. President John F. Kennedy traveling in when he was assassinated? Ford Lincoln. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22, 1963, in Dallas, Texas, while riding in a 1961 Lincoln Continental limousine. This open-top vehicle, part of the presidential motorcade, became a tragic symbol of the event. What is the only city in the English county of Cornwall? Truro. Truro is the sole city in the county of Cornwall, England, recognized for its cathedral and its status as an administrative and commercial centre. Its city status was granted in 1876, reflecting its historical and cultural significance in the region. Batting, cornerstones, sashing and layer cake are all terms used in which handicraft? Quilting. Quilting is a traditional handicraft involving stitching together multiple layers of fabric to create a padded textile. Terms like batting, the middle layer, sashing, strips of fabric between blocks, and layer cake, a pre-cut stack of fabric squares, refer to specific components and techniques in the art of quilt making. Frounce is a disease of the mouth and throat of which creatures? Birds. Frounce, also known as avian trichomoniasis, is a parasitic disease primarily affecting the upper digestive tract of birds, particularly pigeons and doves. Caused by the protozoan Trichomonas gallinae, it can lead to lesions in the mouth and throat, making it difficult for birds to eat or breathe. Which English town is known as the rural capital of food? Melton Mowbray. Melton Mowbray, a market town in Leicestershire, England, holds the prestigious title of the rural capital of food due to its rich culinary heritage. It is particularly famous for its Stilton cheese and the Melton Mowbray pork pie, both of which have protected geographical indication (PGI) status. Which British overseas territory is located on the southern end of the Iberian Peninsula at the entrance of the Mediterranean, and has an area of approximately 2.6 square miles? Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a strategic British overseas territory known for its iconic rock and historical significance as a naval base. It is situated at the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula, controlling the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea and playing a key role in international shipping. In which year did Winston Churchill retire as British Prime Minister? 1955. Winston Churchill retired as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for the second time in April 1955, due to declining health. A towering figure in 20th century history, he is most celebrated for his leadership during World War II, rallying the British people against Nazi Germany. What is the legal minimum age for marriage for men in India? 21 years. In India, the legal minimum age for marriage for men is 21 years, while for women it is 18 years, as stipulated by the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act, 2006. There have been legislative discussions and proposals to raise the legal age for women to 21 to promote gender equality and empowerment. What was the first name of Anglo-Irish statesman and diplomat Downing, after whom Downing Street in London was named? George. Downing Street is famously known as the official residence and office of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. It was named after Sir George Downing, an Anglo-Irish statesman, diplomat, and soldier who served under King Charles II and built the original terrace in the 1680s. The name of which element originates from the Greek word for sun? Helium. Helium, the second lightest element, was first detected in the sun's spectrum in 1868 during a solar eclipse by astronomer Pierre Janssen. It was later identified on Earth, and its name, derived from the Greek, helios, meaning sun, reflects its solar discovery. Which book by Ray Bradbury was expanded from an earlier work originally titled The Fireman? Fahrenheit 451. Ray Bradbury's classic dystopian novel, Fahrenheit 451, evolved from his 1951 novelette, The Fireman. The novel explores themes of censorship, conformity, and the critical role of literature in a society where books are systematically burned. Which influential 1851 novel is also known by the alternative title, The Whale? Moby Dick. Herman Melville's epic novel, Moby Dick, published in 1851, carries the full title, Moby Dick, or The Whale. This American literary masterpiece narrates Captain Ahab's obsessive quest for the white whale, Moby Dick, delving into profound themes of humanity, nature, and fate. Under which pen name did Charlotte Brontë publish her renowned novel Jane Eyre? Kerr Bell. Charlotte Brontë, along with her sisters Emily and Annie, adopted masculine pseudonyms to overcome the societal prejudices against female authors in the 19th century. Charlotte used the pen name Kerr Bell for the publication of her acclaimed novel Jane Eyre in 1847. For which novel did British novelist Zadie Smith win the 2006 Orange Prize for Fiction? On Beauty. Zadie Smith, a celebrated contemporary British author, was awarded the prestigious Orange Prize for Fiction in 2006 for her novel, On Beauty. This award, now known as the Women's Prize for Fiction, recognizes and celebrates literary excellence by women authors. Wife of Bath, Mansapal, Man of Law, and Nun's Priest are all stories found within which famous collection? The Canterbury Tales. The Canterbury Tales is a seminal collection of 24 stories written in Middle English by Geoffrey Chaucer during the late 14th century. This influential work of English literature provides a vibrant portrayal of medieval society through the tales told by a diverse group of pilgrims journeying to Canterbury. Which novel by Charles Dickens has sold the most copies? A Tale of Two Cities. A Tale of Two Cities is a historical novel by Charles Dickens, published in 1859, set during the French Revolution. It is one of the best-selling novels of all time and a classic of English literature, widely studied for its narrative and historical themes. Which 1886 novel by Thomas Hardy is subtitled, The Life and Death of a Man of Character? The Mayor of Casterbridge. The Mayor of Casterbridge, published in 1886, is a tragic novel by Thomas Hardy. It explores themes of fate, moral responsibility, and social class through the life of Michael Henchard in rural Victorian England. Which British author wrote the 1928 novel, Orlando, a biography? Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf, a prominent figure in the modernist movement, published Orlando, a biography, in 1928. This novel is celebrated for its innovative exploration of gender, identity, and historical time through its shape-shifting protagonist. Food brand Knorr was founded in which country? Germany. Knorr is a renowned food and beverage brand, founded in 1838 by Karl Heinrich Knorr in Heilbronn, Germany. Now owned by Unilever, it is globally recognized for its dehydrated soup mixes, sauces, and bouillon cubes. Which planet in our solar system is associated with the term Cronion? Saturn. Cronion refers to Saturn, derived from Cronus, the Greek god equivalent to the Roman god Saturn. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and is renowned for its prominent ring system, composed primarily of ice particles and rock fragments. Who authored the 1869 novel, Lorna Doone? R. D. Blackmore. Lorna Doone, A Romance of Exmoor, is a classic historical novel by Richard Doddridge Blackmore, published in 1869. Set in the 17th century amidst the wild landscapes of Exmoor, it is celebrated for its vivid descriptions and romantic narrative. Greenburst, Zoha, Munchkin, and Combe are all varieties of which flower? Sunflower. Sunflowers, Helianthus annus, are prominent for their large, striking flower heads and are cultivated globally for their edible seeds and oil. These names denote specific cultivated varieties, often bred for unique characteristics such as size, color, or yield. What is the name of the loose, white-sleeved linen vestment worn over cassock by clergy and choristers at Christian services? Surplice. A surplice is a liturgical vestment, typically white and made of linen, worn over cassock by clergy and choristers in many Christian denominations. It symbolizes purity and is commonly used in Western Christian liturgies. In which city was the English highwayman Dick Turpin executed in 1739? York. Dick Turpin was a notorious English highwayman whose exploits became legendary, often romanticized in folklore. He was executed by hanging in York in 1739 after being convicted of horse theft, cementing his place in British criminal history. Which chemical compound has the molecular formula H2O2? Hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, is a chemical compound consisting of hydrogen and oxygen. It is a pale blue liquid, slightly more viscous than water, and is widely used as an antiseptic, disinfectant, and oxidizing agent in various industrial and household applications. A spur royal was a rare English gold coin, first issued during the reign of which monarch? King James I. The spur royal was a valuable English gold coin introduced during the reign of King James I, 1603 to 1625. Its name was derived from a distinct spur-like design on its reverse, reflecting the intricate artistry of numismatics during the Jacobean era. Who was the supreme leader of the Greek forces during the Trojan War? Agamemnon. Agamemnon was the mythical king of Mycenae and the commander-in-chief of the united Greek forces during the legendary Trojan War. His story, central to Homer's epic poem The Iliad, portrays him as a powerful but often flawed leader. Which New York landmark is known as the crossroads of the world? Times Square. Times Square is a major commercial intersection, tourist destination, entertainment center, and neighborhood in the Midtown Manhattan section of New York City. It is renowned for its vibrant billboards, bustling atmosphere, and status as a global icon, earning its famous nickname. Which English author said, "Freedom is the right to tell people what they do not want to hear"? George Orwell. George Orwell, pseudonym of Eric Arthur Blair, was an English novelist, essayist, journalist, and critic. He is widely recognized for his dystopian novel, 1984, and the allegorical novella, Animal Farm, works that critically examine totalitarianism and social injustice. Anpam is a sweet roll, usually filled with red bean paste, which originates from which country? Japan. Anpam is a popular Japanese sweet bun, typically filled with red bean paste, anko. It was first created in 1874 by Yasube Kamura during the Meiji period, and it quickly became a staple Japanese snack and an important part of the nation's culinary culture. The real estate investments of which US president were investigated in the Whitewater scandal? Bill Clinton. The Whitewater controversy was a significant American political scandal of the 1990s involving Bill and Hillary Clinton and their associates, Jim and Susan McDougal, in connection with the Whitewater Development Corporation, a failed real estate venture. The extensive investigations explored allegations of financial misconduct and abuse of power. The disease bovine spongiform encephalopathy is commonly known by what name? Mad cow disease. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, BSE, is a progressive neurological disorder of cattle, caused by prions. It is commonly known as mad cow disease and can be transmitted to humans as variant Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, VCJD, through consumption of infected cattle products. Chirophobia is the irrational fear of which part of the body? Hands. Chirophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of hands. Phobias are anxiety disorders defined by a persistent and excessive fear of an object or situation. The unicorn on the British coat of arms represents which country? Scotland. The British coat of arms features a lion representing England and a unicorn representing Scotland. The unicorn was adopted as a Scottish royal symbol in the 15th century, signifying purity, innocence, and power. Which birds are depicted on the corners of the 61st floor of the Chrysler Building in New York? Eagles. The iconic Art Deco Chrysler Building in New York City features prominent eagle gargoyles on its 61st floor corners. These decorative elements are characteristic of the Art Deco architectural style, which often incorporated geometric patterns and animal motifs. The early medieval inhabitants of which English county were known as the Cantera? Kent. The Cantera were the early medieval inhabitants of Kent, an Anglo-Saxon kingdom located in southeastern England. Their name is the Old English origin of Kentish men, and reflects the region's historical identity dating back to the Roman period. The statue of Eros in Piccadilly Circus, London, is cast in which metal? Aluminium. The Shaftesbury Memorial Fountain, commonly known as the Statue of Eros, is a prominent landmark in Piccadilly Circus, London. Sculpted by Alfred Gilbert in 1893, it was notably one of the first statues in the world to be cast in aluminium. Pecara is the Italian word for which animal? Sheep. Pecara is the Italian term for a female sheep or a flock of sheep. This word is part of general vocabulary that can appear in exams testing broad linguistic or cultural knowledge. White Teeth, the award-winning 2000 debut novel, was written by which British author? Zadie Smith. White Teeth is the acclaimed debut novel by British author Zadie Smith, published in 2000. It quickly gained critical success and won several awards, establishing Smith as a significant voice in contemporary English literature. Taurophobia is the abnormal fear of which animal? Bull. Taurophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of bulls. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder defined by a persistent and excessive fear of an object or situation. Dog's body was the radio call sign for which World War II British fighter pilot? Douglas Bader. Douglas Bader was a notable British flying ace during World War II, famous for continuing to fly combat missions despite having lost both legs in a pre-war flying accident. His radio call sign was Dog's Body. The giant panda is native to which country? China. The giant panda, Ailuropoda melanoluca, is an iconic bear species native to the mountainous regions of central China. It is globally recognized as a symbol of wildlife conservation. The 1857 Sepoy Mutiny took place in which country? India. The Sepoy Mutiny of 1857, also known as the First War of Indian Independence, was a major uprising in British India against the rule of the British East India Company. It significantly influenced the subsequent transfer of power to the British Crown. Bohol, Masbate, Luzon and Jolo are all part of which island group? Philippines. Bohol, Masbate, Luzon, and Jolo are significant islands within the archipelago of the Philippines. Luzon is the largest and most populous island, containing the capital city of Manila. The first, Heroes Welcome, a scheme designed to encourage British communities to demonstrate support to members of the armed forces, was launched in 2008 in which North Yorkshire resort town? Scarborough. The Heroes Welcome scheme was initiated in 2008 in Scarborough, North Yorkshire, UK, to encourage local businesses and communities to show support for members of the British Armed Forces. It typically involves offering discounts or special services to service personnel. Which English coastal resort is known as London by the Sea? Brighton. Brighton, a vibrant coastal city in East Sussex, England, is often referred to as London by the Sea, due to its popularity as a seaside destination for Londoners and its lively cultural scene. It is known for its pier, beaches, and bohemian atmosphere. What was the middle name of US inventor Thomas Edison? Alva. Thomas Alva Edison was a prolific American inventor and businessman who developed many devices that profoundly influenced life around the world, including the phonograph, the motion picture camera, and the long-lasting, practical electric light bulb. His middle name was Alva. Which year saw the first commercial Concorde flight? 1976. The Concorde, a supersonic passenger airliner, made its first commercial flight in 1976. Developed jointly by Britain and France, it was one of only two supersonic transports to have entered commercial service, known for its distinctive delta wing and rapid transatlantic travel. In medicine, a spirometer is an instrument for measuring the air capacity of which part of the body? Lungs. A spirometer is a diagnostic tool used in medicine to measure the volume and flow of air during respiration, primarily assessing the functional capacity of the lungs. It is commonly used to diagnose and monitor lung conditions such as asthma and COPD. How many legs does a wasp have? 6. Wasps, like all insects, belong to the class Insecta within the phylum Arthropoda. A defining characteristic of insects is their three-part body, head, thorax, abdomen, and 3 pairs of legs, totaling 6. The painting entitled The View of Tinherer is a work by which British Prime Minister? Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill, a pivotal British Prime Minister during World War II, was also a prolific amateur painter. He found solace and creative expression in painting, producing over 500 works. The View of Tinherer is one of his notable landscape paintings. A caldera is a feature of which natural structure? Volcano. A caldera is a large, basin-shaped depression formed when the roof of a magma chamber collapses after an explosive eruption. It is a distinctive geological feature primarily associated with volcanoes, representing a major volcanic collapse structure. Bayer designations relate to which celestial bodies? Stars. Bayer designations are a system of stellar nomenclature where a specific star is identified by a Greek letter, followed by the genitive form of its constellation's Latin name. Introduced by Johann Bayer in 1603, this system provides a standardized method for cataloging stars within constellations. What are the 3 primary colors in art? Red, yellow, blue. Primary colors, red, yellow, blue, are fundamental hues that cannot be created by mixing other colors. They form the basis for all other colors on the color wheel, enabling the creation of secondary and tertiary colors in painting and color theory. What is the boiling point of water in degrees Celsius? 100 degrees Celsius. The boiling point of water at standard atmospheric pressure is 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit. This is a critical physical constant, fundamental to understanding various scientific principles in chemistry and physics, and essential for many practical applications. Which is the only bird among the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac? Rooster. The Chinese zodiac consists of 12 animals, each representing a year in a 12-year cycle, deeply rooted in Chinese culture and astrology. The rooster is the 10th sign in this cycle, symbolizing characteristics like punctuality, honesty, and confidence. What is the cube root of 1000? 10. The cube root of a number is a value that, when multiplied by itself 3 times, yields the original number. For 1000, its cube root is 10, as 10 times 10 times 10 equals 1000. This is a fundamental concept in arithmetic and algebra. An ostringer is a person who hunts with which creature? Hawks. An ostringer is a practitioner of ostringai, which refers specifically to the art of training and hunting with short-winged hawks, such as goshawks or sparrowhawks. This ancient practice is a distinct branch of falconry, traditionally differentiating the birds used. St. Andrews Road, Anderson Bridge, and Raffles Boulevard are all sections of the Formula One Grand Prix track in which country? Singapore. These prominent landmarks are part of the Marina Bay Street Circuit, which hosts the Formula One Singapore Grand Prix. This race is famous for being the first ever night race in Formula One history, integrating the city's iconic architecture into its challenging street course. Which animal is known as river horse? Hippopotamus. The name, hippopotamus, derives from the ancient Greek words, hippos, horse, and potamos, river, literally translating to river horse. This designation accurately describes these large, semi-aquatic mammals, which spend much of their lives in the rivers and lakes of sub-Saharan Africa. In Leonardo da Vinci's painting, The Last Supper, who is depicted seated on the right-hand side of Jesus? Judas Iscariot. Leonardo da Vinci's iconic mural, The Last Supper, portrays Jesus' final meal with his apostles. Judas Iscariot, the apostle who betrayed Jesus, is typically depicted to Jesus' right, often identifiable by his darker complexion, isolated posture, or by clutching a small bag, symbolizing the 30 pieces of silver he received for his betrayal. El Drac was the Spanish nickname for which English sea captain and privateer? Francis Drake. Francis Drake was a prominent English sea captain, privateer, navigator, and politician in the Elizabethan era. He is best known for his circumnavigation of the world from 1577 to 1580 and his pivotal role in defeating the Spanish Armada in 1588, earning him the nickname, El Drac, the Dragon, from the Spanish. In the Jewish calendar, what is the third month of the religious year called? Sivan. Sivan is the ninth month of the civil year and the third month of the ecclesiastical year in the Hebrew calendar. It typically falls in May to June of the Gregorian calendar and is significant for observing the holiday of Shavuot, which commemorates the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. During which year did the first RHS Chelsea Flower Show take place? 1913. The Royal Horticultural Society, RHS, Chelsea Flower Show is a world-renowned garden show held annually in London. Although its roots trace back to earlier RHS Great Spring Shows, it commenced at its current iconic site in Chelsea in 1913, establishing its long-standing tradition. Which is the fifth largest country in the world by area? Brazil. Brazil is the largest country in both South America and Latin America, encompassing a vast and diverse territory. It holds the distinction of being the fifth largest country globally by area, contributing significantly to its ecological and economic importance. In which year was British monarch Queen Victoria born? 1819. Queen Victoria was born on May 24, 1819, at Kensington Palace, London. Her reign from 1837 to 1901 was the longest of any British monarch until Queen Elizabeth II, a period known as the Victorian era, characterized by significant industrial, cultural, political, and scientific expansion. Thermophobia is the abnormal fear of what? Heat. Thermophobia is an abnormal and persistent fear of heat, which can manifest as an intense aversion to hot weather, hot objects, or even the sensation of warmth. It is classified as a specific phobia, where individuals experience significant anxiety or panic when exposed to the feared stimulus. A square knot is another term for which type of knot? Reef knot. A square knot, also widely known as a reef knot, is a basic binding knot used to tie two ends of a rope around an object or to join two ropes of similar size. While it is effective for certain binding purposes, its security can be compromised if not properly tied or if under specific types of strain. The stotinka is a unit of currency of which European country? Bulgaria. The stotinka is a subdivision of the Bulgarian lev, which is the official currency of Bulgaria. 100 stotenki comprise 1 Bulgarian lev, making it comparable to cents in other currency systems. Knowledge of world currencies and their subdivisions is a common general awareness requirement. Aspartan is what type of fruit? Apple. The Spartan is a specific cultivar of apple, known for its crisp, sweet, and juicy flesh, and attractive dark red skin. It was developed in British Columbia, Canada, in 1926 by crossing Macintosh and Newtown Pippin apples. Recognizing different fruit varieties falls under general science or agriculture. Bee, giant, and broad-tailed are all species of which bird? Hummingbird. Hummingbirds belong to the family Trochilidae and are native to the Americas. The bee hummingbird is the smallest bird in the world, while the giant hummingbird is the largest of its kind. These species exemplify the remarkable diversity within the avian kingdom. Who founded the Standard Oil Company in 1870? John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller founded the Standard Oil Company in 1870, consolidating the American oil industry and becoming one of the wealthiest individuals in modern history. The company's business practices and eventual breakup under antitrust laws are significant events in U.S. economic and legal history. Bara Brith is a fruit bread originating in which country? Wales. Bara Brith is a traditional Welsh tea bread, whose name literally translates to speckled bread, bara meaning bread, brith meaning speckled. It typically contains dried fruits and spices, often soaked in tea before baking, giving it a distinctive flavor and moist texture. This falls under the cultural heritage and traditional cuisine of Wales. What is the name of the road tunnel which opened in Switzerland in September 1980, and is almost 17 kilometers long? Gotthard Road Tunnel. The Gotthard Road Tunnel, opened in 1980, is a vital alpine road tunnel in Switzerland, connecting Goschenen in the canton of Uri with Airolo in the canton of Ticino. Measuring approximately 16.9 kilometers, 10.5 miles, in length, it was a significant feat of engineering and drastically improved trans-alpine travel. This infrastructure project is a key geographical and engineering landmark. What is the German word, Zimt, for which spice? Cinnamon. Cinnamon is a widely used spice, originating from the inner bark of several tree species from the genus Cinnamomum. It is used globally in both sweet and savory dishes, as well as in traditional medicine. Ambergris is a waxy substance used in perfumery and is believed to originate in the intestines of which creatures? Sperm whales. Ambergris is a rare, solid, waxy, flammable substance produced in the digestive system of sperm whales. Highly valued in perfumery for its fixative properties, it is typically found floating on the ocean or washed up on coastlines. Which planet in our solar system was discovered by Johann Galle and Heinrich de Rest in 1846? Neptune. Neptune, the eighth and farthest known planet from the Sun, was mathematically predicted before its visual observation. Johann Galle, assisted by Heinrich de Rest, confirmed its existence on September 23, 1846, based on calculations by Urbain Le Verrier. What is the U.S. state capital of Maine? Augusta. Augusta is the capital city of the U.S. state of Maine and the county seat of Kennebec County. Situated on the Kennebec River, it is the third smallest state capital by population in the United States. In the U.S., Thanksgiving Day falls on the fourth Thursday of which month? November. Thanksgiving Day is a national holiday in the United States, celebrated annually on the fourth Thursday of November. It commemorates the harvest and other blessings of the past year, traditionally linked to the 1621 harvest feast shared by the Pilgrims and the Wampanoag people. The Polar Music Prize is an annual award for significant achievements in music in which country? Sweden. The Polar Music Prize is an international award founded in Sweden in 1989 by Stig Andersson, the manager of ABBA. Often described as the Nobel Prize for Music, it recognizes significant achievements in music across various genres and is awarded annually. Which British monarch was born Albert Frederick Arthur George? King George VI. King George VI, born Albert Frederick Arthur George, reigned as King of the United Kingdom and the British Dominions from December 1936 until his death in 1952. He was the last Emperor of India and his reign saw the transition of the British Empire into the Commonwealth of Nations. American real estate developer and rancher Mary Anderson is credited with inventing which operational part of a car in 1903? Windscreen wiper. Mary Anderson, an American real estate developer, rancher, and vineyard owner, is credited with inventing the manually operated windscreen wiper. She was granted a patent for her design in 1903, which significantly improved driving safety during inclement weather. The hilsa is the national fish of which Asian country? Bangladesh. The hilsa, Tenulosa ilicia, is a significant anadromous fish, known for its culinary value and cultural importance, especially in Bangladesh. It holds immense economic and cultural significance, being a national symbol and a major part of the country's cuisine and economy. During 1897, the world's first radio station was set up by Marconi at the Needles Battery at the western tip of which European island? Isle of Wight. Guglielmo Marconi established the world's first permanent wireless telegraphy station in 1897 at the Needles Battery on the Isle of Wight, UK. This pioneering work was instrumental in the development of long-distance radio communication and marked a significant milestone in telecommunications history. A silkie is what type of bird? Chicken. A silkie is a distinct breed of chicken known for its unusually fluffy, silk-like plumage, often possessing dark blue skin and bones. Originating from Asia, they are frequently kept as ornamental birds due to their unique appearance and docile temperament. Which British city was European Capital of Culture in 1990? Glasgow. Glasgow was designated the European Capital of Culture in 1990, an honor that significantly contributed to its urban regeneration and cultural revitalization. This initiative, established by the European Union, aims to highlight the richness and diversity of European cultures. Selenophobia is the abnormal fear of which celestial body? The moon. Selenophobia is an abnormal and persistent fear of the moon, which can be triggered by its appearance, associated superstitions, or beliefs in its mythical powers. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder characterized by an extreme, irrational fear of a specific object or situation. Composer Edvard Grieg was born in which country? Norway. Edvard Grieg was a prominent Norwegian composer and pianist, widely considered one of the leading composers of the Romantic era. He is best known for his piano concerto in A minor and the incidental music to Henrik Ibsen's play, Peer Gynt, both significant contributions to classical music. Which British Prime Minister had sons named Robin and Giles? Harold Wilson. Harold Wilson served 2 non-consecutive terms as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom for the Labour Party, from 1964 to 1970 and 1974 to 1976. He is a significant figure in post-war British political history, known for his social reforms and handling of economic challenges. Where on the human face is the Darwin-Grieg muscle located? Between the eyebrows, forehead. The Darwin-Grieg muscle, also known as the depressor supercilii muscle, is a small facial muscle located between the eyebrows. Its contraction contributes to frowning, drawing the eyebrows downward and medially. According to the Chinese zodiac, which animal represented the year 2010? Tiger. The Chinese zodiac is a repeating cycle of 12 years, with each year represented by an animal and its reputed attributes. The tiger is the third sign in the cycle, symbolizing courage, ambition, and competitiveness. How many principal points are typically present on a mariner's compass? 32. A traditional mariner's compass divides the full circle into 32 points, each representing 11.25 degrees. These points are named, e.g., north, north by east, north northeast, and are crucial for detailed navigation. W. H. Auden, the prominent poet, passed away in which European city in 1973? Vienna. W. H. Auden, 1907–1973, was a prolific Anglo-American poet, regarded as one of the greatest writers of the 20th century. He died in Vienna, Austria, where he had been living during his later years, and his work often explored themes of morality, politics, and law. Which London Performing Arts Centre, the largest in Europe, opened on 3 March 1982? Barbican Centre. The Barbican Centre is a prominent performing arts venue in London, known for its brutalist architecture and diverse cultural programming. Opened in 1982, it hosts concerts, theatre performances, film screenings, and art exhibitions, making it a key cultural landmark. Who is the patron saint of Winchester Cathedral in England? Saint Swithin. Saint Swithin was an Anglo-Saxon bishop of Winchester and is the patron saint of Winchester Cathedral, an important historical and religious site in England. He is associated with a popular weather law stating that if it rains on Saint Swithin's Day, July 15, it will rain for 40 more days. Which disease acquired its name in 1976 when an outbreak of pneumonia occurred among people attending a convention of the American Legion in Philadelphia? Legionnaire's disease. Legionnaire's disease is a severe form of pneumonia caused by the bacterium Legionella pneumophila. It was first identified in 1976 following a major outbreak among attendees of an American Legion convention in Philadelphia, from which it derived its name. Which African country is known as the Great Red Island? Madagascar. Madagascar is frequently referred to as the Great Red Island, due to its distinctive red lateritic soil, which is rich in iron and widely prevalent across its landscape, especially the Central Highlands. This striking geographical feature contributes significantly to its unique visual identity. Which opera by Richard Strauss was banned in London by the Lord Chamberlain's office until 1907? Salome. Richard Strauss's opera, Salome, faced censorship in various places, including London, due to its controversial subject matter. The Lord Chamberlain's office, responsible for theatrical censorship in the UK, banned it until 1907, reflecting societal norms of the time. The aria, Un bel di vedremo, One Fine Day, is from which opera by Giacomo Puccini? Madame Butterfly. Un bel di vedremo is one of the most famous arias in opera history, sung by Sio-Sio-san, Madame Butterfly, in Giacomo Puccini's opera, Madame Butterfly. It expresses her unwavering hope for the return of her American naval officer husband, Lieutenant Pinkerton. The one-act comic opera, Bastien und Bastien, was the first by which composer aged 12? Mozart. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart composed Bastien und Bastien, a one-act comic opera, at the remarkable age of 12 in 1768. This early work showcases his prodigious talent and marks an important step in his development as a prolific composer. What is the title of the only opera written by Beethoven? Fidelio. Fidelio is the sole opera composed by Ludwig van Beethoven. Premiering in 1805, the opera tells a story of heroic rescue, political imprisonment, and the triumph of conjugal love and freedom, reflecting the Enlightenment ideals that deeply influenced Beethoven. Which piece of music by Richard Wagner is played in the 1979 film, Apocalypse Now, on helicopter-mounted speakers? Ride of the Valkyries, Walkürenritt. Richard Wagner's Ride of the Valkyries, Walkürenritt, is a famous orchestral piece that opens Act 3 of his opera, Die Walküre. Its powerful and dramatic nature made it iconic, notably used in Francis Ford Coppola's 1979 film, Apocalypse Now, during a helicopter attack scene. The first public opera house opened in 1637 in which European city? Venice. The Teatro San Cassiano, which opened in Venice in 1637, holds the distinction of being the world's first public opera house. This event marked a crucial turning point, shifting opera from private aristocratic entertainment to a public spectacle accessible to paying audiences. Gioacchino Rossini wrote the opera, The What of Seville. Barber. Gioacchino Rossini's The Barber of Seville, Il Barbiere di Siviglia, is one of the most beloved and frequently performed comic operas in the repertoire. First performed in 1816, it is celebrated for its brilliant vocal writing, effervescent melodies, and witty plot. What was the first name of Italian tenor Caruso, born in 1873? Enrico. Enrico Caruso, born in 1873, was an Italian operatic tenor who achieved immense fame and global recognition in the early 20th century. He was a pioneer in recorded music, with his powerful voice and dramatic interpretations making him one of the first international recording superstars. Who composed the 19th century opera, La Bohème? Giacomo Puccini. Giacomo Puccini composed the highly popular 19th century opera, La Bohème, which premiered in 1896. Set in Paris, it depicts the bohemian lives, loves, and losses of a group of young artists and remains one of the most frequently performed operas worldwide. Tamino, Sarastro, Pamina and Papagino are all characters from which opera by Mozart? The Magic Flute. Tamino, Sarastro, Pamina, and Papagino are central characters in Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart's opera, The Magic Flute, Die Zauberflöte. Premiering in 1791, this singspiel blends elements of fairy tale, Enlightenment philosophy, and Masonic symbolism, making it an enigmatic and beloved work. Which opera singers were known as the Three Tenors? Placido Domingo, José Carreras, Luciano Pavarotti. The Three Tenors was a globally celebrated operatic vocal supergroup comprising Spaniards Placido Domingo and José Carreras, and Italian Luciano Pavarotti. They gained immense popularity for their performances, particularly during World Cup finals, significantly broadening the appeal of opera worldwide. Which opera by Puccini was completed after his death by Franco Alfano? Turandot. Giacomo Puccini's monumental opera, Turandot, was left unfinished upon his death in 1924 due to a heart attack. The final act was subsequently completed by Italian composer Franco Alfano, based on Puccini's detailed sketches and notes, leading to its posthumous premiere in 1926. I Don't Know How to Love Him is a song from which rock opera? Jesus Christ Superstar. Jesus Christ Superstar is a groundbreaking 1970 rock opera with music by Andrew Lloyd Webber and lyrics by Tim Rice. It dramatizes the last week of Jesus' life. The song, I Don't Know How to Love Him, is a prominent ballad sung by the character Mary Magdalene. Which English city is known as the Merry City? Wakefield. Wakefield, a historic city in West Yorkshire, England, has been traditionally known by the affectionate nickname, the Merry City. This appellation likely reflects its vibrant past, including its medieval markets, fairs, and a generally thriving community in earlier times. The chiffon cake, made with vegetable oil instead of butter, originated in which country? USA. The chiffon cake was invented in 1927 by Harry Baker, an insurance salesman and caterer, in Los Angeles, California, USA. Its characteristic light and moist texture is attributed to the innovative use of vegetable oil instead of traditional butter and incorporating whipped egg whites, a secret recipe for 20 years. In the human body, inguinal, femoral, epigastric, and spigelian are all types of what? Hernias. Hernias occur when an organ pushes through an opening in the muscle or tissue that holds it in place. The named types, inguinal, femoral, epigastric, spigelian, refer to specific anatomical locations where these protrusions commonly occur in the abdominal wall, making it a relevant topic in human anatomy and general medical science. What is the national bird of India? Peacock. The peacock, Pavo cristatus, was declared the national bird of India in 1963, reflecting its widespread presence and deep cultural significance in Indian mythology and traditions. This status symbolizes beauty, grace, and national pride for the country. What type of tool is a Stilson? Wrench. A Stilson wrench is a specific type of pipe wrench, patented by Daniel C. Stilson in 1869, known for its self-tightening jaws that grip pipes or rods more firmly as torque is applied. It is widely recognized and utilized in plumbing and mechanical work for its robust gripping capability. In 1932, which Californian-based company became the first to commercially produce electric guitars? Rickenbacker, Ropat Incorporation. Rickenbacker, initially known as the Ropat Incorporation, pioneered the commercial production of electric guitars in 1932. Their early models, such as the frying pan, were crucial in the development of amplified music and significantly influenced the sound of popular music. What is the county town of Kent, England? Maidstone. Maidstone is the county town of Kent, a historic county located in southeast England. Situated on the River Medway, it serves as a crucial administrative and economic hub for the region. Its strategic position has made it a significant settlement throughout history. In June 1987, which country introduced a $1 coin nicknamed the loonie? Canada. Canada introduced its $1 coin, widely known as the loonie, in June 1987, replacing the dollar banknote. The coin earned its nickname from the common loon, a prominent bird depicted on its reverse side, and was introduced to reduce the costs associated with producing paper currency. Silicon Alley is a nickname for an area with a concentration of internet and new media companies in which city? New York. Silicon Alley refers to the concentration of technology and new media companies in New York City, primarily in areas like the Flatiron District. Emerging in the mid-1990s, it serves as a significant hub for tech startups, innovation, and investment, paralleling California's Silicon Valley. Which scientist is credited with saying, "The one who follows the crowd will usually get further than the crowd. Those who walk alone are likely to find themselves in places no one has ever been before"? Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein, a renowned theoretical physicist, developed the theory of relativity, a cornerstone of modern physics. He is celebrated not only for his scientific breakthroughs but also for his profound philosophical insights and inspiring quotes that emphasize independent thought and exploration. The chromatic scale is a musical scale with how many pitches or notes? 12. A chromatic scale is a musical scale comprising 12 pitches, with each pitch a semitone higher or lower than its adjacent notes. This scale includes all the notes available in the Western musical system, making it fundamental for understanding complex harmony and melody in music theory. Which was the first planet in our solar system to be discovered by telescope? Uranus. Uranus holds the distinction of being the first planet discovered using a telescope, an achievement by astronomer William Herschel on March 13, 1781. This discovery marked a significant milestone, expanding the known boundaries of the solar system beyond the traditionally recognized 6 planets. In Greek mythology, who slayed the Hydra of Lerna? Heracles. Heracles, the most famous of the Greek heroes, famously slayed the Lernaean Hydra as the second of his 12 labors. The Hydra was a formidable serpentine monster that notoriously grew 2 new heads for every one that was cut off, symbolizing an insurmountable challenge. Which former British junior health minister famously stated that Northerners were dying of ignorance and chips? Edwina Currie. Edwina Currie, a former Conservative junior health minister in the UK, made this controversial remark in 1986 regarding the dietary habits and health issues in Northern England. The statement sparked significant public debate and criticism, highlighting socio-economic disparities and health policy challenges. What term describes the final performance or activity of a person's career, often implying a grand farewell? Swan song. The idiom, swan song, refers to a final performance or effort given just before retirement or death. It originates from an ancient belief that swans, silent for most of their lives, sing beautifully just before dying. Unicum, fusilier, black parrot, and zurale are all varieties of which popular garden flower? Tulip. Tulips, genus *Tulipa, are spring-blooming herbaceous perennial bulbiferous geophytes, belonging to the lily family. They are widely cultivated as ornamental plants, known for their vibrant, cup-shaped flowers, and countless varieties have been developed. Who authored the 1979 novel, The Executioner's Song? Norman Mailer. The Executioner's Song is a nonfiction novel by American author Norman Mailer, published in 1979. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1980 and chronicles the life and execution of Gary Gilmore, a convicted murderer. Terra is an alternative name for which planet in our solar system? Earth. Terra is the Latin name for Earth, the third planet from the Sun and the only astronomical object known to harbor life. It is commonly used in scientific contexts, particularly in fields like geology and astronomy, to refer to our home planet. Which word replaced bachelor and spinster on UK marriage certificates? Single. The terms bachelor and spinster were traditionally used on UK marriage certificates to denote the marital status of unmarried men and women. In 2005, the UK government replaced these gendered terms with the single word, single, to reflect evolving social norms and promote gender neutrality in legal documentation. This change aimed to modernize language and align with broader equality initiatives. How many London Underground stations lie outside the M25 London Orbital Motorway? 5. The M25 London Orbital Motorway encircles much of Greater London, serving as a key transport artery. While most London Underground stations are within this ring, a few stations are located outside the M25. This geographical detail highlights the extensive reach of the underground network beyond the immediate urban core, connecting suburban areas to the city.